Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and this is the sneak peek where we take the temperature of the future of nerdom. And joining me today is my best friend in the entire universe, Brandon Barrick.
Oh my goodness, what a title to give me, Jessica. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, I know. It's a very rare title. Only like 20 people have it.
Oh, only 20 people.
Oh.
That's still 20 out of 7 billion. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll take it. What should we talk about on Sneak Peek today, Jessica?
What we're going to talk about today is Echo.
That's right. That's right. Echo is going to be Marvel's first Spotlight series. They're dropping all 5 episodes on Disney Plus next year, which is not far away. Don't you love to say that? See you next year.
What's the date again exactly?
January 10th, 2024.
Why is that so important? Other than Echo's coming out.
It's someone's birthday, and I can't remember whose. Oh well, maybe it'll come to me.
Oh.
Even though this release date for Echo is over a month away, Marvel has sent out a few screeners recently to the press. We're starting to get a taste of some of the initial reactions to this series, right? So what I thought we could do today here on Sneak Peek is go through some of these reactions and see if we can get a sense of what the series will be like and whether or not Marvel might have a little hit on its hands. A cute little hit to start off 2024.
Beautiful, I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it too. I'm really excited about this show now. I was excited when they announced the show. I loved the character of Echo when they appeared on Hawkeye last holiday season, holidays 2022. Oh, we had that Hawkeye series. But then like kind of the news came out last year that the series was moving release dates. This show was supposed to come out last spring and then it got moved to like November. And then they were like, oh, just kidding. We're putting it out in January and we're gonna drop all the episodes at once. Something Marvel has not done with any past series before. So I got a little worried, right? I was a little like, maybe they don't like this show.
Well, to be fair, I guess they haven't done every show because they just like, Ironheart, Blade has no date. Here's all these other shows that are, and it's not only Marvel, it's a lot of
a lot of things. And like when they moved it from last spring to November, part of that, and then in November they're like, oh, we're moving it again. Part of that was the strikes, right? The writer strike, the actor strike. You know, they needed to fix things, they needed to finish stuff.
Wasn't it originally?
They want to have people promoting the show.
Yeah. It wasn't originally like right after Loki.
Yeah, well, yes, it was gonna be right after Loki, but like originally it was like the spring of 2023.
Yeah. They always say one date, the first,
yeah.
And I know that first date's gonna always change.
Right.
That second date, I was so nervous about it. I was like, that doesn't seem fair. I really hate that they're doing this.
And they're dropping it all at once. You're like,
I was nervous, and then they said January 10th, and I said, I'm not nervous anymore. Best gift in the world.
Well, and you know, to be fair, a lot of Marvel series have been criticized in the past for kind of either being slow or like the standalone episodes maybe aren't great episodes of television, right? So sometimes like some of those series I think benefit from a binge watch where you can just kind of like move right through it. Because they kind of feel like a movie that's been cut into 6 parts, right? Rather than like, oh, this is a series where each episode has its own little mini arc and they all build up to the greater, bigger arc of the series. So that could be exciting for the show, right? Maybe it works better as something you digest over one sitting or 1 or 2 days.
Well, how many episodes is it?
5. 5 episodes.
Okay. Are you really even binging at that point? Because I'm like, 5 is pretty good. Well, unless they're hour-long episodes that we don't know yet, right? We don't know the length.
We don't know the length of the episodes yet. I mean, the longest Marvel Disney Plus shows, and I'm just going off the dome here. I don't have a number in front of me. I think the longest ones, like with credits, get to like 56, 58 minutes. None of them, content-wise, have been over an hour, right? They're all kind of tight like that. I personally, I don't love binging shows. I used to like it, but like I love it when you can like watch an episode of television and take some time to think about it, process it. Yes, I want to know what the story is. I want to keep going. But sometimes I think when we binge television shows, we're focusing on like the A plot of the series, right? We want to know that overarching story. And we miss out on the B or C plots sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good thing about you. And you're a great person for that. I
don't think it makes me a good person.
Actually, no, I wish I was like, I need to take a break away from it. I'm like, no, let me ingest it all right, or digest it all right now. It could be the millennial pause, as they say. It's called the millennial pause. I pause and I watch the entire thing in one evening. My Roman Empire is binging everything, so before anyone else can.
You will stay up.
Yep.
I remember when the most recent season of I forget the name of the show. Not One Piece.
I did it with One Piece.
No, what's the other hero show on Netflix? The comic book show,
Academy?
Umbrella Academy.
Oh,
when that last season dropped, you watched it from like midnight till 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was like, Jessica, what are you doing?
I do with Stranger Things too. It's 2 things. It's out of fear of someone spoiling it immediately if I give it too long of a time, and then also just being the king of the castle.
You want to know?
I need to know.
You want to know the secrets.
So I'm gonna binge this regardless.
Yeah, it'll be hard not to. We're still on the new Rockstars channel. We're gonna break down episode by episode. That's still gonna happen. We're not gonna bunch it all into one breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's the plan. If we change that plan, please go back and edit this out. But yeah, we'll still take it episode by episode. But yeah, it's gonna be hard not to watch this thing all in one sitting. No, and hopefully it's great and we live through it, right? Because all my trepidation about this series from the moving round of dates, that all changed when that trailer dropped. Ooh, that was a good trailer, right?
Freaking trailer!
I was surprised by that trailer.
That trailer was giving. I remember as soon as I watched it, I was like, damn. What I was,
it
I
was
like,
gritty.
Is it Snatch?
It was violent.
I was like, this is Snatch. This is like every gun thug movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was like, this is different.
Yeah, especially after Hawkeye, right? Yeah. When people criticize Hawkeye for being a little silly, a little campy at times, especially with the violence. You know, you had like the LARPers. Even Kingpin seemed a little jolly, not as menacing, right? He was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, it was the Christmas spirit of the show. Now, granted, that show has some of the most violent conceptual things. The three tracksuit mafia dudes who get shrunk down in their truck.
Obsessed with that.
The owl takes them away. You know what an owl does to its prey? It holds it down with its talons and it picks it apart with its beak.
But it poops them all out in once because they don't have the...
No. Owls cannot poop out the hair and the bones and stuff. They poop out the meat.
Yeah, so
they poop out the meat and then they barf out the pellets.
Yes.
In 5th grade, we would dissect owl
everyone here
pellets.
Has dissected an owl.
I don't know. I thought that was a weird Southern thing. I'm glad to hear that existed in Washington.
No, it was always, because it was also like...
You put together the bones of a rat or something?
Yeah. It was the most humane thing to dissect, other than a plant. We did plants.
Plants have feelings. Plants are alive.
Okay, continue.
My plant brethren, rise up. I saw The Happening. I know what's going on.
You think this is The Happening?
So yeah, that trailer drops. Now I'm like very pumped for this show. I can't wait. I hope it's good. So what I thought would be fun to do on Sneak Peek today, Jessica, if you'll allow me, if you'll give me the permission.
Shall.
Okay, thank you. Let's go through some of these early kind of reviews, these musings that have dropped on Twitter, and we'll see if we can make sense of them. And just a reminder, like Jessica and I, we have not seen any of these screeners. We're not gonna be.
I've seen it all.
She's lying. She's lying. Look at her. She's lying. We're not going to be intentionally spoiling anything about this show, but I don't know if you find these kind of early reviews spoilery. I don't know. These are very quick hits that were on Twitter that we kind of rounded up here. Okay. So first up, let's look at a tweet from @Disney+News. They said, I've got to see the first 3 episodes. They saw 3. 3 out of 5. More mature than other Disney+ Marvel shows, huh? Great fight scene with Daredevil. Okay, I don't know if that's a spoiler. We assumed Daredevil would be on the show. I think it was announced Daredevil would be on the show.
I assume.
Loved Kingpin. He's not a great guy to love. I don't think you love a Kingpin. Feels more like TV, they have in parentheses there. Lower stakes. Perfect for the new Spotlight brand. Can't wait to see other episodes on January 10th. What do you think of that? Is that a good sign for you? Does that sound good?
Once you said feels like TV, I was like, then they got vague.
I think a lot of the criticism around some Marvel Disney+ shows is that they were like trying to be movies, right? It's like the world's at peril, right? Most recently,
WandaVision was literally TV shows.
WandaVision was great. I think in this conversation, WandaVision and Loki, they're fine, right? They exist. We all love them. No notes, some notes. But things like the most recent Secret Invasion, for example, they're trying to tell this like story about the world, even though we only meet a few characters and we only go to a few places. Like there was probably a smaller story they could tell there that would be more effective, right?
I guess.
Or like Moon Knight, right? It ends with this big battle at the pyramids and the world's at stake and there's lasers going, or there's a light going into the sky, right? That kind of stuff. That's a little big. I think that's what they mean.
Yeah, but it's also, I guess it's just me. It's just, I'm like, yeah, it's also a Marvel movie. That's
not a Marvel movie. It's a Marvel TV show.
It's a Marvel property.
Right.
That's like saying, hey, Transformers, I want you to make a series and expecting it not to be huge out of space battles.
But what if it's just a series about the Transformers dealing with a problem in their hometown?
Then go make a grounded show for AMC.
But that's what this is trying to do. They're trying to do that here.
I want you to keep making my Fast and Furious.
Well, and people love those like Netflix Marvel shows, right? Much beloved. They felt a little more like on the ground, street level heroes,
like Secret Invasion,
doing street level things. That's not I don't think that's an on the ground type show.
It felt more on the ground than what we've been getting. Everything else is, this is space people on Earth, but he even says like, nah, this is my battle on Earth. he doesn't really go to space in Secret Invasion until the very beginning and the very end.
Yeah, we don't see him in space.
Yeah, we never do.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's dealing with the president of the United States, the prime minister of the UK, some dude from the UN.
That's grounded for us.
That's not grounded.
That's grounded for us in the MCU.
No.
Are you out of your mind?
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind. Then all the special effects, right? Like, they're not quite finished yet. They're a little sloppy. Like, if it had been a movie, it might have been a little more cleaned up. Okay. Here's the next review we're going to look at. It's from Tom Percival of The Digital Fix. They said, saw the first 2 episodes of Echo tonight. They didn't get that 3rd one. And I have a lot of thoughts. I think fans of Netflix's Daredevil are going to love it. It's like Marvel remembered it can be violent and dark. Ooh. Alaqua Cox is amazing. Great to hear. Although I don't love all the creative decisions, though.
Understandable. I like that one.
Yeah.
I can see that
A little
one.
honesty there at the end.
I also love that they, especially with Echo, they were like, we can't lighten up on the darkness.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they were trying to stay gritty and to that. Because it is like, this is a Kingpin. This is
right.
a man that kills with his fist.
Yeah.
Like a man that literally uses his hands. He doesn't use weapons. And I'm like, and then we have Echo, who also is doing the same thing. These people don't really have superpowers. They're just very strong.
Yeah, no lasers, no magic.
And their stuff is, their money making is literally in thug activity. So I'm genuinely,
criminal activity.
Gangster activity.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like, yeah, make this as gritty as you can. I just don't want to see another, I'm trying to imagine like a gangster film or something that's just like kind of bland.
American Gangster.
No,
starring
that's
Denzel
not bland
Washington.
at all. That's
they
not
shot
bland
at my wife.
It's not bland at all. But I want it. I like the take that they're taking. From what I see in the trailer, it's like that gray, black, not black and white, gray and black. Of like, I'm still figuring myself out, but I'm also killing a lot of people.
Right. The flashback we got of her story in Hawkeye, like the death of her father, was very violent and tragic and traumatic for her.
I hope they do not stay completely to the comics for Echo, but it's like the Echo comics are so beautiful, but they're so gritty. It's this girl that's literally like dealing with everything. Her dad died when she was young. Her entire life has been like, hey, I'm gonna avenge my father. Just figure out the man that has pretended to be her new father is the one that did it. So she's just like, I'm falling. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I believe this man. I trusted this man, and everyone around me I can't trust anymore. What am I gonna do? And I want that to come through in this show, and I want to focus on that a lot. And I want it to be just as like nice as the comics did it, as crisp, as beautiful. There were blades in the issues. They're like
blades.
Yeah, like cutting blades, like razor blades. Okay. The way they did the art for like it's Daredevil's Men Without Fear run that's about Echo. The art is so beautiful, but they're also like sad and gritty and dark, and like there's razor blades along the edges, and it's like, yeah, this is a girl that like had to fight for her entire life. So I want it.
Yeah, well, you kind of hinted to there, Jessica, like the journey back to Kingpin in a way of like, you know, that's her only family left in a way. Ugh. I mean, we might learn more about her roots in this show, but like she's raised by her father, like in New York. You know, she's already feels kind of outed from society from being deaf. She's an amputee. Like she must feel like an outsider in this world. She loses her father. She finds out it was Kingpin that ordered that. That's what was discovered on the Hawkeye series. Yeah. And she shoots him in the face.
As you do.
And now he's not gone, so she's gonna have to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, do you accept that? Do you go back to that? Or do you try and like form your new path?
Yeah. And those are the parts in the comic books that they get into of like every step of the way after that shooting, what did she do? And it's like going back.
Is she more in the comic books? Is she more of a hero, more of like a villain? Does she kind of stay in the criminal life?
She started like a hero. She never was kind of a hero because she was lied to her entire life. So the Kingpin's like, hey, this guy killed your dad, Daredevil. And she's like, oh, well, I gotta go kill him. And then she's also simultaneously in love with him and doesn't know that it's Matt Murdock yet. So it's like, she is not, it feels bad to say she's a villain or a hero because she doesn't know yet what she is. And in the comics, she figures that out and she's like, oh, I'm just me. And I need to do my own thing. Beautiful. So it's really good. Read the Men Without Fear issues with Echo. They're very beautiful and the story is really great. And it gets into her tribe and it talks about like, she goes into the mountains to like go find herself. She runs into Wolverine.
As you do, if you go to the mountains, you're gonna run into Wolverine.
And it was funny because she was like, "Is this a giant beast?" And it was just Wolverine wandering the forest.
It's a hairy, stinky ass Wolverine.
And it was like raining. She couldn't see. She's like, "Is this a wolf?" And it was just like Wolverine, like, "Hey, I wander the forest every now and then.
I haven't had a chance to shave all the time."
But I think they'll pull it through in the comics. It's very important.
Okay. Here's another review. We got Emily Murray from Total Film saying, enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Echo, which had an incredible and violent fight scene I want to watch again and again. The sound design is fire. Shout out to the sound design on this show.
Fire.
The brilliant Alakwa Cox continually draws me in, but I found the storytelling and pacing shaky. Excited to see the rest. Shaky's a good way I would describe storytelling and pacing on these Marvel shows sometimes.
If you get 5 episodes and it's 30 minutes apiece, there's only so much you can really...
Right. Well, that's like a heavy movie, right? That's like a heavy movie. That's 2.5
but it's
hours.
a series where you're like, you get to explore more. And then I get... The thing about Marvel also is like, sometimes you put too many hands in the pot.
Yeah.
And that's always my fear, because this is like a show that is also trying to give Echo her own platform to actually breathe, because we only got to see her in Hawkeye, which is not enough to see her. And then we're also introducing like, oh yeah, here's Kingpin again, and here's Daredevil again, and here's all these other people. And I'm like, do we have enough time in 5 episodes to explore who Echo is, what she's doing, but also incorporate Kingpin and Daredevil into it?
Yeah.
5 episodes? I don't know. That's...
Yeah, because they want to tie in, this show
And then there's another villain. There's a third
right.
villain.
This show is establishing, different from the comics, that like Echo is from the Choctaw tribe in Oklahoma, and like they want to approach that side of the story a little bit. From the trailer, it looked like we're going to see the past potentially, right? Either visions or an actual moment from the past. We'll see how that all plays into the show. But yeah, it's a lot to kind of pack into on one little Marvel crime show.
And I know we're going to get flashbacks with her father. Hawkeye wasn't about Echo.
Right.
Hawkeye is about Kate Bishop and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like, and then the third person would be Yelena Belova. And then Echo and Kingpin. Echo. And so I'm like, we only got that glimpse of Echo and her father from Hawkeye. So we're going to get those flashbacks a lot in this series, especially if she's going back to like talk to anyone in her tribe. It's probably like, oh, what was my dad's part in this tribe as well?
There's a shot in the trailer where she's like standing at his grave.
Yeah.
We assume it's his grave. That's probably his grave.
One shot energy? I'll try one. And if it doesn't wake me up, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah. I know Kung Fu.
Okay, I'm gonna try the focus ones now. Okay, one shot is really all I need. I think they both clashed in me, and now I don't know where I'm at. Begin your transformation with One Shot Energy today by going to oneshotenergy.com/newrockstars for 10% off your order. I am going crazy. I am an insane person. I have to go see a musical. I have to go sit in a theater. Oh my God.
Here's another review for you. Tyrell Charles saying, I've seen 3 episodes of Echo, a grounded, character-driven story with hints of bigger things to come. The strong focus on Maya's indigenous heritage and personal history intrigues me. And while some quiet moments slow the pacing, when the action scenes come, they are indeed brutal.
Hell yeah.
I'm not finished yet, Jessica.
Oh, sorry.
How dare you interrupt me and Tyrell Charles. This is Maya Lopez origin story through and through. Honestly, after all the huge, confusing CGI multiverse stuff lately, a more gritty, street-level story is quite refreshing to me, and I'm sure I won't be alone in that thought.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm completed.
Okay. Thank you. I am completed.
I am completed. Review complete.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, I think, again, I appreciate that like people recognizing like, hey, maybe this pacing's a little slow, maybe that, but it seems like these first couple of reviews, they recommend the action. They like the action. I'm seeing the word gritty used a lot. Grounded. I think these are things we want to see in a show. Kind of take us back to our roots a little bit.
Take us back to our roots. Maybe dip our toes in the Netflix water and see what we like. What I like about it a lot is that, which I don't think we're really going for in Echo or with Echo, that she's basically Bullseye.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
She can mimic immediately, but she's much cooler than Bullseye because Bullseye sucks. But not. He's a Go back and watch Daredevil.
Are we going off on Bullseye now?
Go back and watch Daredevil. He takes
the Colin Farrell Bullseye?
The dead girl that he stalks and drives through a building with her corpse. It's crazy.
I like Colin Farrell Bullseye with the marks in his head.
The marks in his head. So Echo, a much cooler version, can mimic everything, and I like that in that violent grittiness. Maybe it's like also mimicking Netflix's Daredevil, where it's like, yeah, just like the first episode of Daredevil is like, this is gonna be sad and horrible.
Well, and it sounds like maybe she's fighting Daredevil a little bit. Are they gonna be at odds? Is she gonna be protecting Kingpin from Daredevil?
I want to really know how Daredevil is gonna be incorporated in this. He's not just gonna show up out of nowhere when we last saw him in LA. So
he's gonna be getting off the plane from LA, and he's gonna be like, God damn, my hips are killing me. Oh Jesus, she really beat me up. And Echo's gonna be like, hey, I'm on to you.
She's like, I'm on to you. I'm excited to see that connection, but I like the idea of I'm obsessed with everyone saying this is violent and just gory.
I mean, that trailer was violent.
When
Kingpin's beating that ice cream salesman. How dare you? How dare you? You sell the ice cream Vanessa.
I love her. It's also that part. I can't wait for that to come through. That like, other than Vanessa, this is probably the only other person that he
cares about.
And cares about.
Well, you think we'll see Vanessa on the show?
I hope not. Not in Echo. Because I can't wait to see that episode of him be like, which he did in the comics. He's like, I still love you. I love you. You're my daughter. You shot me in the face. Yeah. He's like, I care about you. And I'm like, ew, this is horrible. You killed my father, and then like
he ordered the killing.
He ordered the killing. Yeah, I keep going back to the comic where he literally did, and then he didn't even really want her to begin with. He was just like, okay, I guess I'll take her, and then he found out she's a prodigy and was like beautiful in music, and you know how he is with the arts. And so this, I'm like, it's so.
This is a messier. I like it though. The idea that like he loves this child.
It's the same thing.
Still did bad to her. Yes. Tried to hide it from her. She finds out, shoots him in the face. And Kingpin, a guy who holds his grudges, is willing to be like, you know what? This is on me. I should make nice.
This is what this is, and not the same at all now. Not a good analogy. What I love about Tangled, where I'm like, oh yeah.
Let's talk about Tangled.
She's keeping her from the outside world.
Are you about to forgive Mother Gothel for what she did?
Never. That's why I'm saying. Okay. Those are like the weird lore that we get into with Disney, is just like how bad it is when how messed up it is. We don't really think about it, and it's like she was manipulating this girl in a tower forever, saying like, if you go out there, you're gonna get attacked by men. You're fat. Like was saying all these weird things.
Cinderella's dad was around.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. While they're making Cinderella do all this bullshit.
And it's the same like weird manipulative behavior that Kingpin is doing of like, I still love you. I know that I f***ed up and I wasn't honest with you, but I want you to know that going forward, maybe I will be. And
also, like, I got a great opportunity for you to make $1 million.
Yeah, you gotta kill this man in a red suit.
I want you to kill this man in a red suit. I don't like it. Now the suit's gold and red. I hate it even more.
It's mustard and ketchup. Ew.
God damn it. Get me Spider-Man. When's Kingpin gonna fight Spider-Man?
When is he gonna fight J.
Jonah Jameson? I hope they establish they're the same person.
They are, and they're best fucking friends, dude.
Oh, you know they're friends.
They're my.
You know
God.
They meet up
at that news site.
They meet up at the RNC. They're really good friends. They go back to the hotel room. They Venmo a couple of ladies to come over. Your name's Vanessa tonight. Vanessa!
Go to the next. Okay,
well, before we continue on with our great show that's going super well, getting lots of thumbs up from Dashiell, be sure to check out nerdriot.shop, where you can always grab the latest and greatest in new Rockstars gear. We just put up some great new holiday designs, including a play on Christmas Story's iconic Fragile lamp, this bad boy here, with Iron Man's leg. Oh, booyah. Happy holidays, huh? Fragile. We also got this cute little Deadpool and Groot, naughty or nice. I don't know which one's which. You tell me. We also got this awesome shirt that I came today that I'm wearing. This is kind of like in the vein of that What If episode where they're all going to be racing around on Sakaar, but like it's all these characters, these old school kind of comics. Look at that Thor. I can't do backwards. Order your stuff now and get it in time for Christmas. I believe the last day to do that is like December 11th. So if you're watching this, get on it. Going to nerdriot.shop is a great way to support the channel. Check out all of our awesome merch options over there. Get something from earlier in the year that you missed, that you were waiting around for. That is nerdriot.shop. Check it out. Okay, you can stop holding them. Or you keep holding them the whole show. I don't know. Cute.
Do you like this?
No.
Do you like this?
Do you like me now, mommy? Now that I have these t-shirts?
Now that I have these t-shirts, mommy.
And hey, while we have your attention, don't forget to subscribe to all 3 channels of the New Rockstars Network. New Rockstars, The Deep Dive, and The Break Room.
Let's take on some more reviews. Are you ready? I'll read this. I can read
this one.
Kenny G, Kenny G said...
It's I Kenny J.
Why did I say G?
I don't know, because Kenny G is, we all know Kenny G.
You know what I think? I'm thinking of Cass
tenor
and G.
sax.
I'm thinking of Cass and G.
You weren't thinking of Kenny G. The infamous Kenny G?
From Mean Girls?
What did you say?
No, Kenny G, who plays the tenor sax. Has one of the most famous Christmas albums of all
Is Kenny G
time.
from Mean Girls? Is the boy that raps?
His name might be Kenny G also, but Kenny G has the curly hair.
Is that a normal person?
He plays the tenor sax.
We wanted this out, but
Is that a normal person?
Well, do people know him for that?
I was born in 2002, okay, and I know who Kenny G is.
But he goes Kenny G when he sings.
He might, in his rap, he might. That is the most obscure.
Suck MCs ain't got nothing on me from the braids. I just can't touch Kenny G. I'm a math leak. Kenny_J said, saw the first 3 episodes of Marvel Studios #Echo.
You don't have to say hashtag, but that's okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Personally, I didn't enjoy all parts. Show is definitely brutal, dark, has calm moments with a strong focus on Maya. Also, Daredevil fans will no doubt like what they did in the show.
That's good. Doing Daredevil right.
I think it's still speaking to the vibe. The vibe of the show, reminding us of Daredevil's Netflix.
I also love that a few of these reviews have pointed out like strong focus on the character of Maya. It's like the show is called Echo, which maybe that's an indictment of previous MCU titles where they're all over the place.
And the most, not to play devil's advocate, when you hear about the cast that's showing up,
right?
You're like, yeah, I know it's Echo, but you're also putting 5 other people.
Yeah, there's Kingpin, there's Daredevil. You're like,
so you're like,
whose show is this?
Whose show is this? That's how I feel about Captain America. I'm like, there's like 8 other people in there.
Oh, Civil War? Yeah.
No, that's
barely a Captain America movie.
If I hear you slander Civil War again,
I'm not slandering it. I'm just saying it's barely a Captain America movie.
Oh my!
It feels like an Avengers movie.
It is an Avengers movie. They'll change the title in like 20 years. Paul Clean. I think
I like Klein.
Klein makes more sense.
Yeah.
Filmhounds magazine. If the world-ending stakes of the MCU have you longing for something more grounded, #Echo is the gritty tonic. 2 episodes seen, and it's how do people choose how many episodes they get?
I think some
got
people
3, some got 2.
Based on like photos people had posted with their tweets, which you probably at home you might be seeing these. I linked them in the script. If the post team didn't put them in, I'll be angry. Some of the pictures that look like some people went to a screening, and I assume some people were maybe sent screeners.
Okay.
So some people probably went to a screening at a theater where they only showed 2.
All right, we'll continue. 2 episodes seen, and it's a hard-hitting action thriller with a great sense of Native American culture. Can't wait to see the final 3 when they drop in January. The first one that has actually talked about the cultural Native American references that are going to be made in the show.
Well, and I'm wondering if there is like an episode where it's more in the past or something. That's 4 or 5, right? Like they haven't really gotten to it.
I bet episode 4 will be her action.
That's usually like around, that kind of like penultimate episode they throw in a...
Yeah, and then by the end of that episode, she looks in the camera and goes... And then they go ready to fight.
And they're ready to fight.
And
the music swells and then credits.
Yeah, the last episode.
Oh, thank God they dropped all episodes. I can watch it right now. I don't have to wait a week.
Perfect. Now I don't have to wait. Again, reiterating, they keep saying brutal and thriller.
I know.
Every single one of these reviews are like
brutal, gritty, dark.
I'm also like, what do you watch normally, Bluey? Because I watch dark movies, so I'm I want to see a fist go through someone's mouth.
Man, I back the Bluey. You know what I'm talking about? I love me some Bluey. All dogs are good.
Man, not all dogs go to heaven. Not this dog over here. Let me tell you right now, not this dog. Cobra Kai Nation said, so I've watched 3 episodes of Echo, and I really enjoyed it. Alakwa's performance as Maya is natural and superb. The series' dark and gritty style of storytelling is exactly what the MCU needs. There's some moments in that had me ecstatic, energetic, and excited. #Echo.
Fun.
Yeah, that was a good... Yeah. So, what do we think? What do we want to see more of in this series that we didn't get in other MCU series?
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving that it seems to really be focused in on this character. Give us like, what I would love to see is like a good kind of like backstory to really show us this character's motivations, understand what their motivations are, and know their place in the world. I also want at one point in the show for her to turn to the, some character to turn to the camera and explain exactly what's going on with Tiamat in the ocean.
I don't think this.
And they will also tell us what happened to Xandar, if Xandar's still around or not.
I don't think
Kingpin will be like, you know, Maya, that Xandar was completely destroyed by Thanos.
You know, You know.
And also, there's a giant celestial made of marble sticking out of the ocean. And I'm gonna build an apartment complex there with Vanessa.
I was about to say, you know damn well Kingpin's trying to find a way to send some goons out there to get a little chunk.
We gotta get some goons out there. We gotta run that island.
I got a piece of that mountain man here. Right here.
Do you think this series will kind of establish, is this the same Kingpin from Netflix? Is this the same Daredevil from Netflix?
No, he's not, because he showed up in a Hawaiian t-shirt in Hawkeye.
The man could have worn one in the Netflix
series.
series.
He didn't do it, though.
That's not how it works. We didn't see him in his private moments.
Even if they address it and say, like, we don't have any confirmation about Daredevil, right?
Yeah, they've been very cagey about like if they're the same ones, if they're different ones. My feeling is that like the Netflix timeline is in the 616, but it's a separate branch timeline. I think that's what they're gonna do with all those things.
I guess, what do you think would be so different from that Kingpin to this, other than the fedora and the Hawaiian?
I mean, if this Kingpin is really like rebuilding an empire, is like has lost a lot since the Netflix days. Maybe during the blip, like lost a lot or something. Like,
but he still have that same drive and ambition, like he's a good person. He still have that drive and that anger still. I don't think it's gonna be like too off. I think it was really the direction and the shooting that Daredevil Netflix had for Kingpin that would change for what it is in the MCU. But I still think it's still the same kind of story. Like, my dad, I hate him, I killed him, my cuffs. Still ripping people apart.
Yeah,
I think that part's still gonna stay, which is fine.
Right. I just want to just tell this story and kind of focus on that and not worry too much about the other stuff. I don't need to know what the Avengers are up to or all that kind of stuff.
What do you think in this series that the writers and maybe the directors like took from the other MCU series and maybe movies that they're like, oh, we should either not do that or we should try to focus more on this? Do you think there's gonna be like a huge difference?
Well, it sounds like She-Hulk, and this is not the responsibility of the creators of that show. This was the marketing, right? They showed us Daredevil was going to be on that show, and then he didn't show up till like episode 6 or something. Like way later. It sounds like Daredevil's in at least the first 3 episodes at some point. Like, they get that out of the way, right?
It's interesting because the stuff that I've seen, we're not really talking about Daredevil. We're talking about Kingpin and Echo.
Yeah.
Every time I see something, it's just Kingpin and Echo.
He's being mentioned here. It sounds like there's a fight sequence. It would make sense that Daredevil and Echo would square off for some reason. If Echo's sneaking around somewhere and Daredevil's like, hey, I don't like this.
What if it is Bullseye?
Oh, man.
What if it's Bionic Bullseye from Netflix?
From Netflix? It could be.
And we're just like, it's the red suit guy. That's my favorite part, is we always call Bullseye as the red suit guy. He copied the suit and was like, I am Daredevil. And what if he does that again? Get onto the railroad tracks. Let me tie you down. But no, I would love even that to happen, because that fight between Echo and Bullseye would be just as good.
Is there something you haven't seen yet in a Marvel series that you would love to see in this show?
The thing is, the parts that I love about the Marvel series, I don't think they've made... Especially Bob Iger has made very much a note that we shouldn't do it.
What's that?
I'm a brown woman, and I'm like, I love these stories when you're diving. My favorite part about Ms. Marvel was when she went back in time, and we got to see that and experience that culture. I was like, this is stuff that I didn't really actually get to learn a lot of, and I know it's like no one's job to teach me. I should be learning that stuff. But I'm like, it's opening my eyes, and it's opening a lot of children's eyes to these situations. And so with Echo, that's what I'm hoping to get. I'm like, I want to dive into this character. I want to explore her. And if her culture being like Native American is a big part of her, I want to explore it.
Yeah, and it sounds like they've taken a lot of care with that. Like, the writer's room was very diverse, some, diversity in like the creators of this show, production staff that worked on like Reservation Dogs, like worked on this show. So it's like, they want to tell that story and they want to be honest and truthful with it, which I appreciate, because I mean, a lot of characters from Marvel have backgrounds that were not treated properly, and I think these last couple of phases of Marvel, they've tried to address that and like fix these things up a little bit and make them a little better, a little more palatable.
It's so unfortunate with how a lot of fans will act about it, but I'm like, I love these things, and I want them to cherish Echo. Echo didn't get, my biggest thing about Echo is like, as soon as they announced her series, I was like, I'm going to watch the hell out of this series. Right. But we did not give her room to breathe in Hawkeye. No. And so no one knew what Echo the series was going to originally be about. And I'm so glad this trailer kicked ass. Because now people are like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I want to see this.
She fights like, oh, my God. Like, she's from the streets. Born, raised from the streets. And I'm like, She's a badass. Read her comics. It's amazing. Like she's a beautiful, amazing person. And I just want all of that to be shown and put through, and I want people to be as excited as I am.
Heck yeah. All I want out of this show is Jubilee. Okay.
Cut to my camera. Cut to my camera. Also, no, actually, cut the cameras. Dead ass. Shut this man up once and for all. I'm not having this dog in my studio.
I think this is how we get Jubilee in the MCU.
We bring her in through Echo.
We bring her in through Echo.
Right when we said that there's a lot of people.
The post-credit scene will be Echo going to an arcade.
Do you think
a young woman is trying to play a game and it sparks?
Do you think we're gonna get a post-credit scene? And it's the black kid from Heroes.
I think. I think they'll have to do. I mean, there will be a post-credit scene. They do that. It happens. Yeah.
Did we? Miss Marvel's was just that she's mutant.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then She-Hulk was the reveal that Hulk had a son.
Yeah.
So it won't be like post-credit, but you think the very last episode?
I think the very. I don't think every. It'll be the very
up.
last episode. Will have like something at the post.
That's the episode where Daredevil shows up.
The fight scene is the post-credit scene. It's a 20-minute post-credit
Or maybe
scene.
like I don't know if this would be the actual thing, but what I would like, I think would be fun and wouldn't be too much of a high stakes thing to gamble with, is all this shit goes down, every piece of it, every little piece of it. They somehow get Kingpin in prison, and his lawyer is Jennifer Walters.
Ooh, that'd be
and then
good.
she has to defend him. She has to defend him.
I paid for the best lawyer.
He said, "Give me the best lawyer," because if she's still over there at that same firm, they're like, "We just want you on big name people. We don't even care about."
Yeah, if she's forced to represent.
Kingpin,
that'd be very interesting.
Gets him off.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that would put that strain on her and Matt Murdock's relationship so quick. He'd be like, "Why are you doing this?" And she'd be like, "It's my job.
Yeah.
Like they put me on it.
I'm just doing it. Everyone deserves the right to representation."
Ooh, and that's when we're like, "Wow, I hate her."
Matt gets the text that she's like, "I'm in town." And he's like, "Oh God, my hips, I can't take it." She's gonna
stop viewing those hips.
We saw what happened on that show. The whole house was shaking, for gosh sake.
No, it wasn't. She had sex as Jennifer Walters, not as She-Hulk.
Sometimes, a little bit of both.
Oh my God. Dear Evan over there rolling in his grave. He's
Evan's
already
dead?
He buried himself in the dirt and is rolling in his grave.
Oh no.
Okay, it's time for our heat check.
Ooh.
Which we haven't done.
It's hot.
We haven't watched any of these episodes, but based on these reviews, I think you guys know how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah.
I'm still pumped for it.
I'm hot for this show.
I'm
very excited for this show. I was, like I said at the top, I was really concerned with the moving around, we're just putting it all at once. Marvel has decided to do that, but they've also hey, we're gonna launch a new thing called Spotlight. It's gonna be more focused on singular characters, a little more down to earth, and I'm all for that. So I'm very excited for the show. And yeah, that trailer really got me hyped for it. And yes, these early reviews you could say oh, these are shills. Oh, they're just simple, blah, blah, blah. But these are people who watch everything that Marvel puts out. And I think if they're willing to say hey, there could be pacing issues, sure. But loving the tone of the show, loving where it's going. I'm excited for that. Will this be MCU's Andor? Maybe. I don't know.
What's Andor?
Oh my God. Apologies to Andor.
What's Andor?
Apologies
to Andor. And that, you guys know that
she loves Andor. She's just being silly.
I'm gonna love.
What's your heat check on this?
No, I already said I'm gonna love this show. I'm so excited for this show.
I'm very excited.
I said I was excited for it from the jump. It's coming out on my birthday. The trailer is amazing. I will probably be breaking it down. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, I think you will. Yeah.
I think I'm breaking the Echo.
We want you to break it down. I think you're traveling a little bit at some point. I don't know.
It's my birthday.
Okay, well.
It's my birthday.
What do you want to do? Break down the show or have a birthday?
God damn, and that's it for the sneak peek. Follow New Rockstars on Twitter. Follow Brandon at, what is it?
Greene and Barrick.
Greene and Barrick. The puns. Follow me at Lulu_Clemons.
The puns! The puns!
And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye!
Bye.